Alright then, hello everyone and welcome back to New Era F1 Esports Formula 2 2026, and we are in week 3 of the championship now for round 5 and round 6 of the championship that will take place in Austria and Great Britain over these next about an hour and a half, 90 minutes or so. We are going to have a look at the first time for the season for the championship standings real quick, so just bear with me for a moment as we get those on the screen for you. And as you can see there on your screen now, Squidge 2017 is leading the Drivers' Championship by 6 points over iWatts. However, Squidge not racing here right now, at least. We'll see if he can get in for next round in Great Britain. Matty Adams sitting in P3 with 50 points, so he's not far behind. And Squidge not appearing in this race is going to cause some upsets, and his chance at a 100% pole race this season sadly disappears with that result. Ray in P4, Noah in P5, Octave, Djokovic, Makers, Yeetmex and Jamar makes up the top 10. Whilst we have a point spread down to P17 with Kit W41 having a point last time out. As for the Constructors' Championship, AIX is leading the charge there with Mr. Wilco and Squidge in P1, followed by VAR, Dams, Campos and Trident in P5. Close midfield battle as well. Close all the way throughout. So we shall see what goes on here in a couple of moments as we are about to get underway with qualifying in about a minute or two. Just let everyone get their setups up in order before that ready up is given. So then, no Squidge 2017 here in Austria is going to shake up the championship quite a little bit. The man who has nabbed 4 out of 4 pole positions possible yet this season. So now, looking at Matty with strong qualifying pace around this track with these type of cars, as well as Ray has been very, very fast in qualifying previously as well. A one-time winner this season is Ray. Matty, a two-time winner. So then, as the ready up has been given, it'll be set to go in just a moment's time. So then, once again, I do apologize about how difficult it is doing commentary in these one-shot qualifying sessions. I'll do the best that I can, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. So if you want to watch me, or if you want to watch someone's on board, please let me know in chat. I'll try to go on board with them for at least a portion of the lap. So then as there we go, on board with iWatts at the moment, has been very, very good in these cars throughout this season so far, 4 rounds in. And if not for the pole position points, he'd be leading the championship. Right now, having a little bit more tricky start to the session. He's all the way down P16. Meanwhile, Tez has been disqualified. Matty Adam will be leading the charge then. Let's see if we can find Matty Adams on board here. There we go. Matty now in P2 from SSR, Halo and Djokovic in P3. Loon up in 4th, Noah in 5th place. As we approach Sector 2, the one place where this go-kart circuit actually turns into a real circuit with a couple of challenging corners. 2 really, really fast left-handers coming up. Along with the penultimate and final corner, you can gain or lose an entire lap around there. Expect to see a couple of invalidations in this final sector. Whereas iWatts, he's down in P8. Matty leading the charge at the moment. And will it be 2 points for pole position for Matty Adam, who so desperately needs it in his championship campaign? Halo and Noah are right there. Matty comes out of the final corner. We expect a pole position. And it is pole position by 0.2 of a second. Noah finishes on the front row as well. So good qualifying performance from him, and it all shuts down very, very quickly after that. So we'll have a look at the grid summary after qualifying here. And is Noah in P2 for Invicta, Djokovic in P3 for Invicta. Halo in the Dams is P4 with Luna in P5, Yeetmex in 6th. iWatts finishes P7. It's got a little bit of work to do. He's followed by Marcus, Ray and Tiger Octave inside the top 10. Wigan has having a decent season so far. He's P11, followed by Kit, Darren Style, ABT, then Tess, Jamar and Wildcat. All out of the session after invalidated times. BT also wasn't able to get a time on the board. So then, 2 points to Matty Adam to start the session up. 0.2 of a second as well. It's quite a big margin around a circuit like this. It goes by very, very quick. Even in these Formula 2 cars, still a very, very short lap around here. So then, as we'll just be sitting here for about a minute or two as well before we can get the race restarted. But then one of the very interesting things around this particular circuit will be what the tyre strategies are. We've seen the alternate strategy starting on the harder compounds, moving over to the softer. That has been the most successful strategy so far. We're seeing mainly super soft tires for a lot of people. A couple of people on the soft P6, P7 there, as you can see. Then a set of softs for JMR at the back. This is subject to change, mind you, over the next couple of seconds before we get this race started up. Matty starting in P1 in his Trident. Luna, crucially for Trident's team's championship hopes, is starting in P5. Needs to get some points on the board and needs to do it quick. Good opportunity for Trident to take in on AIX with no cars represented, neither Mr. Wilco or Squidge 2017 on the grid here right now. Hopefully we'll have at least one, maybe two of them in for Great Britain later on. As there we go, the ready up to start the race has been given. We'll be going 20 laps around this Red Bull Ring Austrian Grand Prix circuit, which was meant to be ran in reverse, mind you. However, we did put it to a driver's vote, and the vote was relatively unanimous with a no, please don't, and we are going in the usual direction for this one. Hopefully it should encourage quite a bit of overtake in this circuit. One thing worth keeping in mind though is the braking zone going up into turn 3, especially in that first lap. It's going to be very, very easy to miss your braking point and cause a pile up there. Wait and see. The two Invictus, P2 and P3 for both Noah and Djokovic. Halo in P4, getting past the Trident of Luna there. Just gone ahead at the start. If I'm not mistaken, there is a couple of May the 4th helmets on the grid here today as well. Ray W25, I believe, is running a Boba Fett inspired one. I think I saw a Captain Rex inspired one earlier in the Discord, but I don't know if it's being ran. It doesn't look like it, unfortunately. It's a bit of a shame, but at least one person celebrating the world's greatest holiday. So then, Matty, followed by Noah, Djokovic, Halo, and Luna. Just having a look at the tyre strategies here. It's actually quite a big offset between the super soft and the soft tyres. Noah going soft, so is Cesar, Halo, and Yeet Max. So it's super soft, soft, super soft, soft, super soft, soft. So it's very, very evenly split between the entire field. So this is going to be an interesting start. Matty definitely going to have the advantage over the first couple of laps. Will Noah have to let Djokovic go on that super soft tire? Perhaps we should wait and see. What are the cars gonna be able to do coming up from behind is another question. We've got this guy in our scope as well, iWatt, in that kick liveried VAR. He is the man currently, maybe even favourite for the championship now, that Squidge is not racing here right now. Matty Adam is on pole position for the first time this season. Will he be able to keep that into turn 1? It's lights out, away we go. Matty gets a good getaway. So does Djokovic. He'll swoop around the outside perhaps of Noah going into turn 1. Noah has to back off slightly. That allows Luna to swoop round the outside into P3. At turn 1, we have a problem for Yeatmix as well, down 11 positions, been spun round on the start most likely. That is very, very unfortunate for the Williams liveried MP Motorsport. But Matty Adam leads the race from Djokovic, Luna, Noah and Halo. We have another collision down back. It's Mackers, who I believe is losing positions coming out, or coming into turn 3. Sorry, so that must have been some sort of problem under braking for the Campos of Mackers 97. Iwatts has made progress as well, up 1 position on, well, you would assume it's Yeatmix losing a couple of positions there. That's pushed Iwatts up a place, but he's right on the back of Halo as well. Noah not too far along the road, up along the road either. Iwatts here is getting a good run on SR Halo actually. Might he just have a little go into the penultimate corner? He shows himself and Halo does lock up a little bit. Slight contact between Iwatts and Halo there going into the corner, but Halo just keeps hold of the position. But we are 1 lap into this 20 lap race now. Iwatts is putting Halo under some serious pressure here. This is very much now for the championship lead. Meanwhile, Ray's had a clean start as well. He had a bit of a difficult qualifying by his meshes. Started in P9 up to P8. Now Tess up 6 positions, biggest climber on the start. Up into the points in P6. Maybe it's good avoiding that midfield battle in the first lap or 2. Just being able to pick up cars a little bit later on during the race, as Iwatts now is almost touching the back of Halo every now and again. A Halo who is locking up every now and again as well. That's certainly going to have Iwatts relatively interested. Starting on the super soft tire as well. It is going to be a battle of strategies here as Noah's lost ground on Luna and Djokovic. So then, the super soft tire is the way to go here at the start. You can see Noah on the soft tire just struggling a little bit. They're falling back on the cars ahead, but the alternate strategy will come into play a bit later on, especially if we do have a relatively late safety car around here. So then Djokovic now on the back of Matty Adam as well. These two fought it out for the battle, for the race win in Saudi Arabia. Djokovic got a freezing time penalty on that day, lost the win, but here he goes down the inside of Matty Adam in turn 3. Leaves Matty a lot of room to work with. Matty is able to hold it round the outside and gets the defensive DRS, should be said, on the next straight, and he's able to work with that and stay ahead. Djokovic maybe just a little bit too nice to Matty Adam there, leaving him that room on the outside, but no real room to shove someone off at these cars because you're not exactly forced to. The F1 cars is a different tale by how fast they are. You can't really, you basically have to stop on the apex if you want to leave a full cars width. As a little twitch every now and again for Ray 25 in that dance. Let's see how he tackles this final corner, but needs to get a decent run to keep with Tess here. He does manage to do so. The air is still enabled because Jamar is coming up behind. That's for the battle for the lead, and Djokovic on Matty once again. Maybe not an overtake into turn 3 this time. Pulls to the inside, shows himself. Matty very, very wide line going into that corner, making the most of the curve there, and gets a significantly better exit than Djokovic, and that should see him safe into the next corner as well. Djokovic's not going to be able to do anything about that for the time being, as Iwatts been able to overtake Halo as well, and is now up into 5th. Next up is Noah 48. He is currently sitting in P4. 2 seconds back from Luna and Djokovic, so Iwatts does need to get by the Invicta. It does need to get by pretty quick. And Iwatts, who has won around this circuit several times in F1 cars previously in F1, or in in any F1 history. But a Halo who's now very much on his back as well. Seemingly a bit more comfortable attacking than defending Halo at the moment. DRS enabled, no DRS for iWatts though, could lead to significant problems. The problem for Halo now is his catching by a little bit too much. Going into turn 1, needs to just adapt his speed a little bit to maintain a gap through turn 1, and now he's going to go swooping around the outside, up the hill into turn 3, and that little move is going to be done before we get to the braking zone. iWatts can only follow. Ooh, and now brakes himself, and is he going to keep ahead of Tiger and Tess behind? Yes, he does. But iWatts not really comfortable right now in this current situation. Djokovic not able to make a move on Matty either. And a race that right now is pretty stagnant. Tess, however, is making moves. Tries around the outside of Tiger Octave and is able to make that work. Tiger's still on the inside, but he's just got to yield in this situation, and Tess is up in P7 on those soft tires. And now it's a question how BAR is going to play this one. iWatts and Tess, both in the same team. iWatts in the championship battle. Tess very, very far away from a championship battle. But in this situation, Tess significantly faster on that soft tire. I think iWatts is just going to have to yield that position here and let Tess have a little go at Halo and Noah up ahead. As iWatts to the inside of the corner there, doesn't make it difficult for his teammate. He does make it very difficult for Tiger Octave though, who misjudges the braking, goes, I don't know if he went off circuit there, but he definitely has his momentum ruined, going very, very deep into turn 3, losing a bit of time as a result. P8 for Tiger Octave, 7 tenths behind iWatts now, so he'll try to bring that gap in just a little bit. Ray, not having a good evening at all down in P9. As if you're on that super soft tire, we're expecting to see a couple of pit stops within the next 2-3 laps, somewhere along those lines. As Squidge is in chat cheering on Djokovic. As ERU is asking why Yeatmax P16 had a problem in the, I believe it was the first or third corner, did Yeatmax. Didn't quite catch what was going on, but lost a lot of positions as a result, and Yeatmax having made his pit stop for this race as well, quite significantly behind at the moment, but will come into play a little bit later on in the race, perhaps, depending on how strong that undercut is. We'll wait and see. Here goes Djokovic on Matty Adam once again. Matty just slightly locks up, gets a decent turn in though. Djokovic can't do anything about it. That car not quite good enough in a straight line. Not quite good enough in a straight line at the moment. Matty hangs on to P1 for the time being. Djokovic ever there. But just can't get alongside or ahead. He's gone alongside once. Maybe just a little bit too kind to Matty Adam on that occasion. Matty very early signaling that he's going into the pit lane. Djokovic being caught a little bit unaware by that, I assume. But he's now inherited lead of this race. Matty Adam then moves into the pit lane on lap 8 out of 20. New set of soft tires going on that Trident. Will he come out in quite a bit of clear air behind 1980s Wildcats? It's a good place to come out as well for Matty Adam. Just be able to make the most out of those tires. And Djokovic, I don't know if the best case for Djokovic right now would be to just stay out, try something different, or do you protect the podium and pit alongside with Matty. Keep in mind the cars like Noah, for example, a little bit later on will have the super softs at the end, and those were significantly faster in the opening stint. As here comes both Djokovic and Luna into the pit lane. Djokovic nice and easy on the braking. Try Watts, that's just getting it slowed down in time, but it's a very, very tricky pit lane entry, especially with these cars where the braking is just a bit difficult at times. Djokovic held quite a little bit in the pits there, but I believe it was Watts going by. So wait and see. You can actually gain quite a bit of time by timing the exit of the pit stops with these cars right. Matty Adam nailed it. I don't think either Djokovic or Watts really did. And Matty's brought up a significant gap. 3.5 seconds in a lap over Luna and Djokovic. So that is a massive undercut for Matty Adam. He was able to get along really nicely with those tyres. And now, very much in clear air here. P5 at the moment. And the situation where I don't actually know if we had a safety car now, if the gap would be enough to get into the pit lane. I probably would. It probably would. Yeatmax then is up to P13 along with his teammates, up to P12, a BT in P11 as a majority of the field has made their pit stops now. So only a couple of soft drivers left. The problem if you're a Halo or a Noah right now is the amount of time that Matt is driving in on these new soft tires is substantial. Even if he's taking quite a bit of life out of them, regaining that time on a set of super softs is going to be difficult. This situation, maybe starting on the super soft was the right call. Tess is in lead of the Grand Prix provisionally. He's got him past Noah, he's got him past the SSR Halos. Tess is actually flying around this track. If I'm not mistaken, he made his NEF1 debut a few seasons ago. Now I could be mistaken about that, but I think I'm quite correct about it. In the Alpine, it would be season 8, if I'm not mistaken. About halfway through. So, Tess then leads this race from Noah, Halo, Octaf and Jamar. Matty has brought in yet another 2 seconds on this lap alone to the cars ahead. So the battle for this race win seemingly over. Matty enjoying a nice and comfortable evening here in Austria for the time being. We should have Squidge 2017 back for next round in Great Britain, however. That'll be a fun shootout between the two championship contenders. As to where is Watts, he is down in 9th place at the moment. 4.8 seconds behind Djokovic, just ahead of Ray 25. But then, there is the undercut question to keep in mind. Where will Noah Halo Test come out in regards to Watts? As Djokovic there, side by side with Luna into turn 3. Luna tries a little switchback move on Djokovic, doesn't quite work. Will have the DRS on the next straight though, to try to get straight back by. Goes the long way around into the braking zone of turn 4. Djokovic on the inside, still the two, I believe, bang wheels on the apex. It is very, very close between them. Luna with the advantageous line going into the next couple of corners. Will she be able to keep that position? Djokovic on the outside, Luna on the inside. Djokovic has to yield, and that is P7 for Luna at the moment. It's a de facto 1-2 for Trident right now, which I believe would see them straight up into P1 in the Constructors' Championship. It is that close, and especially with Matty's P1 in qualifying as well. They are looking at the maximum possible points haul, because fastest lap at the moment also belongs to Matty Adam. So Van Tess now in the pit lane. He'll come out significantly ahead of Watts is the answer to that question. That is a big problem for Watts. The Tess is coming out that much clearer. With a freezing time penalty, might be a race to forget for the British Jamaican aiming for a NEF1 championship here. As our Halo has been put under pressure from Noah, who goes down the inside into the second sector, and that is a very, very nicely executed move. Halo, I believe, is going to be going into the pit lane the end of this lap, keeping it within those white lines, mind you. And into the pits goes SSR Halo. Tiger Octave as well. Is Jamar going to be following him in? Yes, he does. Make sure you got your car all the way slowed down. So now Matty Adam will not quite inherit the lead. Is Noah going to stay out here for as long as he possibly can? Just hoping for a safety car, a virtual safety car before the end of this race is question. A little bit of a Hail Mary to try to get a win here in Austria. Will do anything to do it. As Matty and Luna at the moment lead this race. Djokovic down the inside of Luna though into the third corner. Will have the DRS on this next straight, however. Bang wheel slightly on the exit, but here goes Djokovic down the inside of Luna into the next braking zone, and surely Djokovic will get the job done on this attempt. Has the inside line. Luna forced to the outside. Djokovic, how much room is he gonna give her on the outside of the exit? Not too much. Djokovic maintains that advantage and has P3 secured for the time being. Tess is involved in this battle now as well, and he has done a recovery job and a half. Noah goes into the pit lane then at the end of lap 13, beginning of lap 14, which will see Matty take a comfortable lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. The question is, has Noah just stayed out for quite so long that a podium might be off the table here? Now with the undercut advantage, we'll wait and see where Noah comes out, but he's got quite a bit of time to drive in, because here comes Iwatts coming into the first corner. It's going to be quite close between them on exit. It's going to be very close between them on exit. No DRS for Iwatts though, but he tucks into the slipstream of Noah immediately. He's got a better run coming out of the first corner. Noah, cold tires. Iwatts, hot tires. That should see the VAR head free wide into the third corner, and Noah somehow maintains the position out of the turn. But here comes Iwatts with DRS then. Just a slight bang of wheels. Noah want to force them a little bit further to the outside. Noah down the inside, though Iwatts has to go the long way around. Is he going to be able to do that on slightly warmer tires? Goes a little bit too wide, dips the tire in the gravel, and loses a position to Halo as a result. This is brilliant racing with these smaller, slightly more forgiving cars as well. Noah speeds up a little bit in the distance because Halo and Iwatts is side by side through a couple of corners. Is Iwatts going to risk losing a lot of time to Noah here to just get by Halo in the penultimate corner? Oh, Halo goes a little bit deep. Iwatts runs into the back of him. It's harsh, but it's fair racing between the two. And here comes Ray on Iwatts now then. On lap 15 out of 25 more laps to go of this, hopefully. We'll see us well satisfied at the end of the Austrian Grand Prix. Halo goes very, very deep coming out of the first turn, and here comes Iwatts up the hill, and the closing speed is faster and faster the closer you get. Not quite though. Maybe Ray goes down the inside, can't quite take advantage of the space given to him, and Tess has made it by Luna, and he is up into P2 at the moment. The man who served a qualifying ban, started last here, is currently up into P2 this race. Luna, is she gonna send it down the inside? Yes, she does. Makes contact with the back of Tess though. Wasn't quite enough room to try a move down the inside there. Luna has to yield for the time being and is P3. Djokovic right now in 4th place. Iwatts, Halo and Ray continue their little battle, but it has stagnated for the time being. So now then we have this little battle. Tess, Luna and Djokovic. Luna in a sandwich of the two drivers to have won more than one championship. We have a problem for Yeatmex, who has spun round coming out of the third turn, with Matty coming up on the scene as well. About to have blue flags in about a lap or two, you'd assume. Yeatmex has had a race to forget here along with Darren Style as well. As Luna tries going the long way round Tess, who gives her very, very little room to work with. Here goes Luna down the inside into the next corner. Tess is gonna try to force it the long way round, but it isn't quite to be. Luna maintains P2 for the time being. That fastest lap point still inherited, I believe, by Matty as well. No, it's held by Halo actually on a 1:14.145, so it's not quite maximum points, but very, very close. Yeetmex then retires in the pit lane, which we never want to see with only a couple of laps left to go. So the battle continues then. Djokovic, Tess and Luna. Tess on that super soft tire. The question is, how long will that last for? Iwat is losing positions to Ray now, battling for P8. This is not the race that he needed for his championship campaign. It's absolutely the race that Matty Adam needed to maybe even see him back on top, with Iwat not scoring significant points. Keep in mind that penalty as well, and the gap down to Octaf and Jamar in 10th place in the ARTs. But for right now, Tess stuck behind Luna, Djokovic stuck behind Tess on an 8-lap old soft tire that now should be in an operating window to just be that little bit better than the super soft perhaps. And could that be why Luna's just been able to pull away by a couple of tenths of a second here over the course of the last lap or two? The RS is enabled here, 3 laps to go. Tess, who's barely scraped into the point so far this season, now battling for his first podium this season. What could be a P2 behind a dominant Matty. Down the inside in the braking zone into turn 3. Very, very decisive on the brakes, and that might just allow Djokovic to have a little go on Luna. Loses it on the exit though. Just gets a bit of a wiggle on. Now then, Luna, is she going to try something on the brakes on Tess? Not quite close enough. Tess just outbraking himself a little bit though, locking up. And that is going to allow Luna to run round the outside into this ever so fast sweeping left-handed section where you can absolutely get by in these cars as proven. Luna right round the outside of Tess with a brilliant move there. Tess just a little bit too eager on the brakes into turn 4, and that has cost him. And now is the question, will he be able to get by? Because Luna absolutely took off coming out of that double left-hander. Djokovic has been served with a 3-second time penalty, and this is music to Noah's ears. If he can make it by Halo on this lap, Halo goes very, very wide there. 5-lap old super soft tires, and here Noah's gonna absolutely fly past Halo. Now is the objective to just get a little bit closer to Djokovic maybe. Teammate battle, keep in mind, but Noah still would like those points for the Drivers' Championship. But Djokovic has been good so far this season, just hasn't quite been able to get it quite together as Luna locks up a little bit. That is gonna allow Tess maybe a go down the inside, but it's not quite enough to maintain a run through this next section. Gonna try to run it wide into the double left-handers, but it doesn't quite work, taking a different line here. Luna still in P2 with 1 lap to go here. The battle for P2 ever ongoing. Luna and Tess. Matty's checked out in front by 7.3 seconds. And he has dominated this Austrian Grand Prix. 1980s Wildcats had a problem after turn 3. He's having a difficult season in that high-tech. Kit has been relatively anonymous as well this race in P14, along with Wigan. Marcus has been uncharacteristically anonymous in these Formula 2 cars as well, usually a bit further up there. So here we go then, last possible moment for Tess. He's going to send it down the inside on brakes. Yes, he does. Luna will get the DRS to have one more go at Tess here, but Luna goes very, very wide, and that is going to allow Djokovic to get by. He's not going to have the gap needed to pull away, but Tess is going to finish, as long as he doesn't make a major mistake here, is going to finish in P2 with that very, very bold braking maneuver on Luna that did just pay off. Djokovic will finish P3 on the road, but it won't matter. Luna will take that position on penalties for a double trident podium. But what a race it has been from this man who we have barely seen since he checked out at the pit stops. Matty Adam takes his third win of the season, a majority of race wins over anyone else, and with this we expect to see him up at the front of the championship order, if not at the very, very sharp end. Tess, with a brilliant race, comes home to finish P2 with Luna in third place. Djokovic comes home a very, very solid P4 with Noah in fifth. Good points for Invicta, very, very much needed. Iwatts actually comes home to finish a very, very decent P6 in the in this race. That'll be good for his championship hopes, with Halo in 7th, Jamar in 8th after penalties. Decent points haul after a very quiet evening so far for the returning driver. Octave in 9th with a couple of points there, and Ray with the 1 point in P10. The fastest lap point goes to Halo, so it's a couple of points picked up. It's 7 points for SR Halo. A decent haul for Dams as well. So then, at the end of the 5th race of the season, Matty takes his 3rd win of the season. It's been a very, very good evening for him so far. Almost a maximum points or pole position, and the race win. 27 points scored in one race. Tess, unexpectedly, must be said, with that P2 after not seeing any sort of pace from him so far this season in Formula 2 cars. Now just showing up here in Austria. Will he be able to keep that going into Great Britain? We shall wait and see. But it is Matty, Tess and Luna on the podium then. There's a double trident, crucially for the Constructors' Championship. Absolutely crucial for Luna to get underway this season. So then, there we have the race results on screen for you now. Fastest lap point goes to Halo, but it is Djokovic in P4, Noah in P5, Iwatts in 6th, followed by Halo in 7th, Jamar in 8th, Octave in 9th, and Ray in 10th. We are going to take a couple of minutes worth of a break before we get next race started up. So we'll be going to a bit of a waiting screen for a little bit of time. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a few minutes worth of a break for the British Grand Prix in Formula 2. Stay with us. Alrighty then, we are here for the continuation of week 3 of the championship, round 6 here around Silverstone, Great Britain. Once again, a race that was meant to be run in reverse didn't end up happening, and now we are running it in the other direction, as per request of the drivers and almost unanimous vote as well. So then, once again, it'll just be that quick wait before we can get going, allow everyone to put their setups on and adjust their small little details for the next time out. Can announce that Squidge 2017 is racing here today as well, so that is very good for the championship battle. And there we go, the ready up has been given to start the British Grand Prix qualifying here in Formula 2. I believe it was a 15 lap race, if I'm not mistaken, 15 or 16 laps, so it's a bit of a shorter one here. But a race that probably is going to take a little bit longer time. More of a circuit this than the oversized go-kart track, that is the Red Bull Ring. It's going to be very fun to see what these Formula 2 cars are capable around here. I've had a couple of battles around here with, I believe it was Tiger Octave a little while ago when we would do 5 lappers to experiment around with these cars. Let's just say the racing was thoroughly enjoyable. Here we go then, on board with iWatts for the opening of these, on the opening of this qualifying session. Squidge immediately jumps into P1, very good with qualifying these cars. Now Kit and Matty takes the reign here, along with iWatts and Noah. Very close between the entire field at the beginning of qualifying here, but I think as the dust settles, Matty just takes a little bit of an advantage alongside with Squidge here, moving into the second sector. And Tessa's strong pace continues here actually in qualifying as well. Where is Matty Adam? He's down in P8 at the moment. That doesn't bode well for his championship campaign. He's falling back behind a BT every now and again as well. Still 17 cars on the grid, however, as Luna unfortunately couldn't make the second race here tonight. So then, Squidge from Tess, from Noah Djokovic, and from Matty Adam. And it's crucial for Matty Adam now to get a good run coming out of this sweeping right-hander, or be starting further down the field than necessary this coming race. Squidge has not missed out on pole position once when he has qualified. Tess falls down the order massively. Mistake there coming into the final couple of corners. Squidge takes pole position once again for 100% pole rate when he has participated. Djokovic takes P2 from Noah in P3. Matty takes P4. But what happened to Tess there right at the end? He was on for a very good qualifying result, but it just wasn't quite meant to be. But yet more points scored from Squidge 2017 in qualifying. That is 10 points over the course of this season so far. So a very good qualifying performance once again from Squidge, and very close between the Invictus and Trident as well, separated by little over 200ths of a second. Halo in 5th, iWatt in 6th, followed by Jamar, BT in the ARTs, Campos, Mackers, followed by the MP of Wigan and the Campos of Tiger Octave. Tess must have made some sort of critical mistake in the final couple of corners, qualifies P13. Couple of people there at the end not getting a lap time in. As then we're set to go for just a little bit of a break here as well, so I'm going to go have a glass of water to just try to get the voice back up and sorted. So stay with us for just a couple of minutes before we get this British Grand Prix underway. We'll be right back. Yes, there we go. Once again, the ready up has been issued and we can get going for the British Grand Prix. Silverstone for a certain number of laps, I don't quite know which, but it is a very, very weird tyre allocation here. Soft tyres, or for the first time this season, hard tyres is the allocated compounds for this race. Not even medium, hard compounds. So then, a significant pace advantage on those softs, but a significant tyre life advantage on the hard tyres. So, that strategy is going to be a bit interesting. Not a lot of people going on the hards at the start. I believe it was only Tiger Octave there, along with Tess actually. As Squidge takes the started formation lap along with Djokovic and Noah, the Invictus P2 and P3. Good weekend for them so far. Only two cars going for the alternate strategy, Tiger Octave and Tess. Tess aiming to do what he did last time out and do a magnificent climb up the field up to a podium position. Matty right now needs to beat out Squidge here over the course of this race, but the question is, how quickly can he clear the Invictus of Djokovic and Noah? Can he clear the Invictus of Djokovic and Noah as well? So the question needs to be asked. If he can't, then Squidge might be able to run away with this one. So wait and see. It was 2.5 attempts clear in qualifying. How will that transition over to race pace, where Squidge has been quite alright as well. Not been able to run away with it in the same way, however. Zy Watson in P6 didn't have the best Austrian Grand Prix, didn't have a terrible one either, but he needs to have a better British Grand Prix to stay in title contention. J-Mar beating the ARTs, good to see both of them up there. P7 and P8 with the Campuses P9 and P11 just on the fringes of the points. What is Heatmix going to be able to do from P14? What is Kit going to be able to do from 15th? The high techs P16 and 17. They're having a very, very difficult season. Is high tech along with Prima. So standard attention everyone, the race is about to get started. Squidge on the outside going into turn 1. Is he going to park that car just a little bit angled toward the inside? Yes, he does. Trying to cover off Djokovic on the start, who's lined up in P2. P3 is Noah, P4. Matty Adam. The championship battle is lined up perfectly for this race. So here we go then. Both cars at the front angled slightly towards each other. It's a very, very aggressive lean on Yeatmex's car. But his lights on, away we go, and it's a good start from Djokovic. It's a better start from Squidge 2017 once again, who gets away cleanly and not contested into the first corner. Matty Adam needs to get by one of the Invictas, maybe into the first sector even. Noah might have a go on his teammate here. The two Invicta go side by side and make slight contact. Sorry. Matty rounds the outside of Noah into the next corner as Noah loses a lot of positions. Being forced to the inside, maybe getting squeezed on the apex as well. Down P9, but Matty crucially passed one of the Invictas already. Now is Noah going to be able to make a move on Mackers here? Crucial to be able to get the car slowed down into that sweeping left-hander before this long right-hander and get on the power very, very early here. As Mackers just showed getting a decent run on Noah, was interrupted by that little bit of a kink. Good start from the ARTs. P5 and P6 respectively. Good start from Iwatts and Matty Adam as well. Bad starts for Noah and Tess, losing a significant amount of positions. As for Tess, not unexpected on that hard tire. That'll be coming into play a bit later on, but Tess actually had some sort of problem. He is 7 seconds behind actually. So then, Matty crucially passed one car and staying inside the battle for the lead of the Grand Prix along with Djokovic and Squidge then. Just everything that he needed to do. Iwatts in P4 running it running it just slightly behind Matty Adams, 6 tenths of a second. He's being a little bit challenged here by Jamar and Beatty as well. Halo right on the back of Beatty actually. I think misjudging the first turn a little bit, losing a bit of time. And for the time being, it's a relatively calm British Grand Prix. Kid has made it up into the points here in Britain. 5th place on the start, best start out of anyone so far is Kit. So will he be able to climb a couple of further positions? There is someone going into the wall, and that is Ray, who isn't quite able to get this car under control. Trying to push it a little bit too hard before you get onto the black stuff, and you will spin out once again. So that is Ray and Tess battling for the last couple of positions now, and actually having a little bit of a battle there as well. But then for the first time this race, then DRS is going to be enabled after Maggots and Beckett's. Very, very awkward set of corners in these cars is Maggots and Beckett's as well. Djokovic 5 tenths of a second behind. How much is that DRS going to help? About 2.5 tenths of a second to be precise. But keep in mind, if you're within probably 4 tenths of a second then in Maggots and Beckett's, then they'll have a chance at an overtake with their respective setups that don't differ too much probably in these cars. Difficult overtaking, but not impossible. Djokovic does, however, get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, slightly quicker than Squidge, slightly quicker than Matty Adam. Matty just that little bit better for the first sector, however, being able to push Djokovic that bit closer. There we go then, down the next DRS straight, 5 tenths of a second back, almost 6 tenths of a second, turns into just under 5 tenths of a second actually. DRS not a massive advantage. Not a massive advantage at all around this second. That could be a bit worrying as for how overtaking will be. As Jamar just goes a little bit too wide going out of Cop's corner. Beatty doesn't really want to try to push him too hard for the time being. Running along well in P5 and P6 at the moment. Good for the Constructors' Championship just being able to pick up points like this. Kit's maintaining his points finish at the moment in P10. He's 1.8 behind Mackers, but he's got a little bit of gap to Max, who is battling for that P11 with his teammate apparently as well. Both the MPs not really working together, instead trying to push each other for the points paying positions. As here is Tiger Octaf on the back of Wigan as well. Is he going to be able to do anything? And where is Ray and Tess and all of this? They're catching up, but not by a significant amount. Lap 4 out of 15 then. We're about a quarter through this race. And if you are a Matty Adam as well, you'll be happy to know that Manchester City equalised in the last possible minute, grabbing a point away from the Everton game. A couple of people want to postpone the race to be able to watch the finish to that one. And Tess will be kicking himself at the end of that one, I'm sure. Our resident Arsenal supporter. So then, Squidge, Djokovic, Matty Adam is the top 3 with Iwatts in 4th place. Jamar Beatty remains unchanged, P5 and P6. Halo in 7th place. Noah not recovering at all at the moment. He is stuck in P8, not being able to get by Halo. Mackers and Yeetmex now in P10, getting past Kit on the lap before. Shame we missed that one. Who are on the hard tires at the moment is Tiger Octaf, as here is Djokovic doing something. Going into pit lane actually along with Matty Adam. Only 4 laps into this race. So the hard tires going on early here. The softs very, very fast degrading. So here we go then. The pit lane exit will be crucial for Djokovic to get right now. It's a double stack for the Invictus as well. Now it'll be held for quite a moment there. Not a good opportunity to pit. And where did Matty come out in regards to the Invicta? Just behind. As there is iWatts in the backdrop as well. So then, crucial for Djokovic and Matty to get these hard tires fired up quite quickly now then. So, how long is Squidge going to be staying out on that tire? Looks like someone's going very, very deep. That was A33 BT going off at Cop's Corner of all places. Did he have contact with anyone there? What happened? Usually not a corner where you go off by yourself, and especially not in these cars. Unless you get a massive spin on. Glad BT's still in this race. As iWatts is out of this race, actually. That's triggered a safety car in the middle of the track in Cop's Corner. What the fuck has happened to iWatts there? Who's parked in the middle of the circuit. That has given Squidge a brilliant opportunity to go into the pit lane. That has given everyone ahead a perfect pit window. Djokovic, Matty, they'll be screaming at the timing of this safety car. That unfortunately means iWatts probably out of championship contention here on lap 5 of the British Grand Prix, but it does mean as well it's advantage back on Squidge 2017 with this result. Tiger Octave on the hard tire, can't pit yet, won't be able to bring a set of soft tires 9 laps into this race, surely it's too long. But as for Djokovic and Matty, they'll be stuck. How many people will they be able to get by is the question. Needs to get by a significant portion of these cars. Matty racing on the exit. Is he able to get by Halo? Yes, he doesn't actually. Needs to let Halo go. Djokovic up at P5. Matty in P7. But this is everything that they did not need. Now they are racing an awful many cars for position here. It's everything that they, as mentioned, didn't need. But I'm very, very curious as to what happened to iWatts. Apparently, might be a similar issue to what happened to ABT a couple of races back, where apparently controller bugged out, took control of the car and put him in the wall. That is a big change for iWatts there, who is running a very good season so far. Hopefully, doesn't affect him too much, but it is a big points loss for VAR and for iWatts personally as well. Tiger Octave then leads this race from Squidge, Jamar in P3. That's a nice little strategy for you. With Mackers in 4th and Djokovic in 5th. Matty all the way down to P7 at the moment. The undercut effect didn't really end up happening. And it's a safety car right at the worst possible time of asking. So then it has allowed Kit back into the points paying positions. Tess back in this as well. And he had a mega drive at the end of last race. We'll be able to do the same now. Soft tires need to bring those quite a fair few laps into this Grand Prix. Speaking of that, actually, a couple of these laps will be on the safety car. Should Tiger perhaps also a pit to try to get those soft tires on, because he's now virtually a pit stop behind, isn't he? Tiger, to be fair, not in a good position here at all, unless we're to have another late safety car. which will force everyone to go into the pits due to the tyre offset. You won't be able to defend on those hard tyres if people go into the softs for 2 laps at the end. So realistically, if we want a really fun battle for the last couple of laps, then a late safety car would be ideal. But we'll wait and see if that happens. As here we go, the safety cars coming in this lap. Tiger Octave will be controlling the race restart and needs to maintain a constant speed, a little bit more constant than that Tiger. And he goes very early. He goes too early there, maybe, because the safety car hasn't quite gotten into the pit lane, but it does just work. And there we go, race is restarted. Tiger Octave then breaks away with a 1 second gap already over Squidge 2017, who wasn't quite prepared for the restart. Jamar in P3, followed by Makers, Djokovic, Halo and Matty Adam. The hard tyre of Tiger Octave then, how is that going to hold up? And how is this strategy going to work out if we don't have another safety car? It is a long pit stop around here. As Djokovic very much on the back of Makers, who's losing time to Jamer already. So Djokovic and Matty needs to get by that Campos quite quickly. Matty already by the dams of SSR Halo. That is critical for his race. Now, can't afford to lose too much time to the cars ahead. Squidge, not in the lead of the race quite yet. But he is coming up behind Tiger Octave then. Come the end of the straight, not quite close enough. Tiger Octave just maintaining a decent gap down to P2 for the time being. He's controlling the pace of the field quite well at the moment, Tiger Octave, on this first lap. The DRS opens at the end of this one though, or at the beginning of this one, sorry. DRS enabled, there you can see race control. Now overtaking just going to be a bit more accessible. Jamar on Squidge is actually the closest battle on sect at the moment. Actually, along with Matty Adam on Djokovic, who's very close behind him. Djokovic very close to the back of Makers then. Makers, who might just be trying to protect his teammate a little bit up front, but he's not exactly backing up the pack either. You can't back up the pack in that kind of way. Around this particular circuit, it's not Monaco. Around there you could. Tiger Octave then. We've established that about 0.4 of a second gap is needed for an overtake for Squidge 2017. He is within that now going into Magazine back. It's all a question of how can he follow around here on that significantly fresher tyre as well. The overtake at the moment looks like it could happen. Wait and see. 0.5 of a second as you open the DRS. With Jamar very shortly behind him as well. He's gaining and gaining, but he is not quite close enough to get the move done on that occasion. Tiger Octave looks calm, cool and collected. He stays up for another lap. Squidge right now just has to sit behind. Wait, Tiger will have to make another pit stop in this race. Squidge knows it, but it's just a matter of using his time as efficiently as possible. Because Jamar is there as well. He's no pushover in these Formula 2 cars. we've had a problem with 1980s Wildcat at the rear of the field. It's just getting back on circuit. As Matty, Adam and Djokovic do battle into the first sector as well, just before the DRS straight. Matty past Djokovic now, and behind Macker's 97. On for a podium at the moment is Matty, crucially enough, but he would like a couple of extra positions, I'm sure. As Jamar just goes a little bit wide there, then Squidge goes a little bit wide into the next section, and that just allows Tiger Octave to get a little bit of breathing room once again. As Matty does a very, very early turn in to Cop's corner, that just loses him a bit of momentum, especially now that we're in a DRS train of sorts. And the question is, when is Tiger Octave going to go into the pit lane? Now, very, very harshly challenged by Squidge here, who is going to get at least alongside, maybe ahead by the time we get to the braking zone. New Atthias. Tiger is not going to be able to do too much about that one. Is now the question. We go into the pit lane. No, Tiger Octave stays out for yet another lap. Yet to make a pit stop though, and now he is interrupting the race a little bit for everyone else really. He needs to take advantage of those soft tires as well. If nothing else, the fastest lap point is at stake. Noah gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So is that a broken front wing for the Invicta driver? Yes, it is. There we go then, Matty on Mackers with a time penalty, mind you. But with the DRS train that is currently forming, not close enough to make a move, not able to make a move, not able to make any inroads. As now then, Squidge very, very close to breaking that 1 second gap to Tiger Octave. That could open up this race a little bit, let me tell you. Jamar be frustrated with the situation. He was hoping to fight for a race win the way the strategy played out here. Matty gets Cops wrong, probably, because you usually don't pull an overtake like Djokovic did into Maggers and Beckett's. If not, so here goes Jamar on Tiger Octave, and the Tiger Octave that surely needs to come into the pit lane at the end of this lap. And does he go into the pits now? He stays out even further, and now he's just waiting for that potential safety car or virtual safety car that probably isn't going to happen the way this race is formed out. Now Tess down the inside of Matty Adam into the penultimate final corner, and Matty needs to fight this one. He needs to keep this position very close between the two British drivers. Tess launches it down the inside, nothing to lose. Noah's retired from this race after Cop's corner. And is that going to trigger any sort of a virtual safety car? No, it doesn't. And the race resumes then. Noah with a second problem in Cop's corner, second to a BT earlier on. As Tester launches it down the inside of Matty Adam, and Matty will be increasingly frustrated with this. He is fighting for a championship. Tess is right now fighting to make it as difficult as he can for his usual championship rival as well. Jamar 1.8 seconds behind Squidge now, who is running away with this Grand Prix. Tiger Octave is almost a second back on him. Djokovic very, very close to a podium place at the moment. But he picks himself up 3-second time penalty, and that is music to Matty's eyes, I'm sure. Now then, Matty does a little bit of a switchback line on Mackers through that corner, maybe runs the outside into the braking zone, and that's a hell of a move from Matty Adam to get by one of the Campos as Tiger stays out for yet another lap. He needs to pit now, Tiger Octave. Djokovic Now especially the safety car cannot be called as well. So what Tiger going for here, probably the fastest lap point, but the safety car from this lap on cannot be called if I'm not mistaken. So Matti is on for a podium here unless anything crazy happens. Djokovic gets by Tiger Octaf then for P3. Tires of Tiger, you would imagine, are screaming out in pain at the moment. They've been on 13 laps around the circuit. It's not exactly forgiving on the tyres, mind you. As there goes Matti round the outside of Maggots and Beckett's. How hard is Tiger going to fight it? Not overly hard. But will Matti actually get DRS there? He was just inside a second going into Maggots and Beckett. That was crucial for Matti Adam, so it wasn't going to be attacked by Tiger Octaf once again. But Tiger does need to come into the pits at the end of this lap, if I'm not mistaken, as you are not allowed to pit on the final lap. And there goes Tiger Octaf into the pit lane then, after a strategy that didn't quite work out. So Matti then behind Djokovic but ahead on penalties. Jamar might just be a little bit too far up the road, but he's sure going to give it a go, Matti. Try to get by Djokovic as quickly as possible. Where is Tess in all of this? His advance just halted a little bit on those soft tires. That would have been very, very good for a couple of laps there. And realistically, that's probably where Tiger Octaf should have pitted as well. He's still inside the pit lane. It's actually going to come out about alongside or maybe even behind Wildcat and BT. So he did wait way too long, Tiger Octaf, unfortunately, but such is just the nature of this track with a very, very long pit lane. But then we basically neglected the rest of the battle to watch the progress of Djokovic and Matti through the field. Wigan and Yeatmex both inside the points here as well. Kit, it's going to come down to how many seconds worth of penalties you have. Darren, does he have a chance to make it inside the points? No, he doesn't. But Mac is then with 13 seconds worth of time penalties going to propel a lot of cars up a position or two. Djokovic as well with that 3-second time penalty hasn't helped himself out, just nabbing that track limit a bit too often. And he has a tendency to do that in these cars, does Djokovic, just go wheel over and pick up a 3-second time penalty that is decisive. It happened in Saudi Arabia, and it's happened here in Great Britain. It cost him a race win in Saudi, it's cost him a podium to Matti Adam on this occasion. Jamar now not having the best of laps is the question. Can he keep it together now? Under a little bit of pressure, Jamar, Djokovic and Matti Adam is the running order. And it continues to be so on the run down into Sector 2. Djokovic with a little bit of a run on Jamar, and I'm sure Matti would love for Djokovic to just send one down the inside a little bit uncontrolled. But it's not going to happen for him, I'm fairly certain. Matti will maybe actually be able to get Djokovic on circuit. Jamar might just be a little bit too far up the road unless he fumbles it under pressure now in these last couple of corners. But it is once again that DRS that is ever so crucial. DRS trains are impossible to overtaking. Squidge 2017 will rebound strong after not racing last time out. He continues his 100% pole record, and he continues his brilliant form in these cars as well. He wins the British Grand Prix to establish himself once again in the championship conversation. Jamar comes home to finish in P2 for his first podium back in New Era. Matty Adam finishes P3 and another podium for him. Crucially enough, Djokovic P4. Very, very strong weekend for Djokovic. A P3 and a P4 if I'm not mistaken. Or double P4, something like that. With Ray in P5, Tess finishes P6. Is a good stint on the soft tires, his long stint on the soft tires, but it was the right call. He finishes just ahead of Halo with Wigan in P8, Mackers in 9th. Yeetmex finishes in P10 with Kit just outside the points there in P11. Darren with a rough weekend finishes in P12. And it's been a rough weekend for a couple of the back markers, not really close to points in either of the races. But this was going to be one of those weekends that was very, very tough in terms of the tracks that we went to and breaking into the points. Slightly simpler circuits than usual, both Austria and Silverstone. Next time out, though, it is Belgium and Azerbaijan, which is going to be absolutely thrilling to see these cars go around the streets of Azerbaijan. But then a well-timed safety car for Squidge 2017 sees him win the British Grand Prix and establish himself once again in championship conversation. And with that, it is not a massive loss to Matty over the course of the weekend. Matty still the winner of the weekend, though. Fastest lap, who did that go to this event? It went to Tiger Octave, who does get a point in the end for Campos, the other Campos of Mackers in P9. But then that is going to be it for this rendition of NEF2 2026. The first ever Formula 2 season in New Era F1 Esports is halfway done already. It's going by very, very fast. Matty versus Squidge now is looking like the championship battle going forward. It's going to be very, very fun to see what that is going to look like over the next 6 races coming up. So you won't want to miss out on next week, as just to confirm as well, so I'm not lying to you, as we see season calendar. There we go. Belgium and Azerbaijan next time out on May 11th, Monday night at 9 p.m. As usual, you do not want to miss out on that. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Once again, it has been another brilliant week of Formula 2 action. So, absolutely brilliant stuff. And I'm quite starting to like these Formula 2 cars, must be said. I'm quite starting to like them. Until next time then, happy May the 4th and happy Revenge of the 5th tomorrow for any Star Wars fans out there watching. We hope to see you next time out on May 11th for 2 more rounds in Europe before we move over back to the other side of the big pond called the Atlantic Ocean. We will see you in 7 days' time when NEF1 returns. Thank you very much and goodbye.